Hey guys, it's me Kevin and welcome back to another AFL video. So in round 23, it's been confirmed which team is playing who and what ground they're playing at, but it hasn't been confirmed what time it's being played at. So today I'm going to predict the time slots that each game in round 23 is going to be played at. That's the list. And I'll go through every game one by one. So on Friday night, Collingwood versus Essendon. Well, for one, there's two games that are played during the course of the weekend at the MCG. Collingwood versus Essendon and Richmond versus Brisbane. Let's account that Collingwood and Essendon both play on the Saturday afternoon or Saturday in the previous week, and therefore neither team has to play a 5-day break to play Friday night. And it's a 6-day break. Also, it's between two big Victorian clubs in contention for the finals, or they're in the 8 at the moment, and they should be in the 8. And, well, who doesn't love a Friday night blockbuster between Collingwood and Essendon at the MCG? Saturday afternoon at Blundstone Arena, North Melbourne versus Melbourne. Well, let's face the fact that generally in Tasmania, games seem to be held on a Saturday afternoon. And I think this game will be no different. Also, the previous clashes between North Melbourne and Melbourne at that same venue have been on the Saturday 1:45 slot in the past, so I think this is no different. Whilst on Saturday 2:10, Richmond versus Brisbane. Richmond, yes, they do play a 6-day break, and they're the only team that play on the previous Sunday to have a 6-day break. I'm not talking about Collingwood Essendon because they went from Saturday to Friday. Given that both West Coast and Hawthorn and Gold Coast GWS feature both teams that played a previous Sunday, I decided to put both of them on the Sunday slot. And I don't think it's appropriate for Brisbane and Gold Coast to play on the same Sunday. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think it's appropriate. So that's why I have Brisbane and Richmond on the Saturday. And I think that because both teams are in contention for the top 4, contention for a possible grand final, I think it's probably the best training Brisbane can get at the MCG against a side that could potentially win the premiership in the same conditions or similar conditions at the same time. So that's why I think it'll be on Saturday 2:10. Saturday 4:05 Adelaide time in Port Adelaide versus Fremantle. Well, most of the time those two sides play on the Saturday 4:35 slot anyway. Like earlier in the year, round 13. And last two times they played in Adelaide, it's been the same slot. So, and considering that both Adelaide and West Coast are put to play on the Sunday, I think both teams, it's appropriate for them to play on the Saturday afternoon. On Saturday night at the GMHBA Stadium, Geelong versus Carlton. Well, to be honest, this game would have mattered wherever I put it, but I did every other game first, and then I left that one last, so the Saturday night slot was really the only free slot. I thought, yeah, it'd be appropriate. I mean, last time, them two played at GMHBA, Geelong and Carlton played on a Saturday night, so yeah, I guess it's appropriate, maybe. Also on a Saturday night is Sydney versus St Kilda. Now, I put it in that same slot because it's the annual Pride game. I'm surprised it got put in round 23, but I think the AFL were planning and are still planning to play this game on the Saturday night anyway, given that it's the annual Pride match. And, well, GWS don't play until the Sunday. And to be honest, it's also a prime slot because Carlton and Geelong, well, no, that's not going to be televised on free-to-air on any state. So Sydney St Kilda will technically get a Sydney and St Kilda will get a primetime slot on Saturday night. And we head off to Sunday, where the Bulldogs play Adelaide at Eureka Stadium in Ballarat. You can't really play another game in Ballarat that's past 2 o'clock. Because remember last year what happened with the Port Adelaide Western Bulldogs match where, well, the last quarter was played in really dark conditions and barely anyone could see, and it was also very cold. It'll still be cold, but at least with the Adelaide Bulldogs playing at Sunday 1:10, at least we won't have the nighttime factor, and it'll be played earlier in the day, so should be a degree, 2 degrees warmer. On Sunday afternoon at Optus Stadium, West Coast versus Hawthorn at 1:20 p.m. It's between West Coast, who are the reigning premiers, against Hawthorn, who is a relatively high rating side. So I think it's appropriate for that game to be put on free-to-air. I mean, 7 games for the Eagles on Channel 7 is quite low considering they just won the premiership last year. So I think if you give him, it's only fair to give him an extra game to make it 8. Still under the average, but at least give him something. And also, they need to play on a Sunday, because I know all 3 games on the Sunday are between teams who play on the previous Sunday, but West Coast especially needs a 7-day break because, well, they're from WA and due to long travelling, and that's what happened last year. You thought Fremantle and Collingwood would play on the last game of the season, whilst West Coast and Brisbane would play on a Saturday twilight. Never happened. The games were swapped around, and that was because, well, they wanted to give West Coast a 7-day break because they played Melbourne on the previous Sunday. So West Coast especially need a 7-day break. And to finish off the season, GWS versus Gold Coast, 2 newer sides, 2 most financially struggling sides. So it makes sense to put them on the worst slot of the weekend. And also Metricon Stadium, well, it's used to twilight matches anyway, so it's only appropriate if you put that match on the Sunday twilight. So, I hope you liked the video. It's a new concept, and I don't usually do these type of videos, but obviously I do a lot of AFL videos, but I don't do a lot of type of fixture videos, but I will actually do a fixture request video later in the year once the AFL season finishes, so stay tuned for that. Please subscribe, please like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment what you think of the video down below and what you think of my predictions, and predict what it will look like if you have any other predictions. And check out my other videos, and I'll see you next week. Bye.